Well, golly gee, howdy. Can we talk? Um, you may notice a better camera, a change of background, and I hope a better audio. Uh, in other words, one of the things I'm doing here is kind of a communications course, as in, can I express myself? Can I listen to others and engage? And can I make myself useful? Among other things. And communication is an innate aspect of human nature, and we uh, ought to be at ease in both exercise and play in these new media. Work too. It all, gee, to be able to talk to another across the planet like that. Um, uh, a French philosopher, theologian, Desjardins, the noosphere. In other words, what civilization was striving toward, or what the spirit of the world was striving toward, was a kind of maybe a theater of open communication and clarity and maybe honesty. Uh, Teilhard de Chardin, and he's a pretty nifty guy digging up dinosaurs in China and lots of stuff. Anyways, Can We Talk is currently labeled first draft because that was just off the cuff. Um, and I missed out on some things and I maybe included some things that were awkward or don't fit, and it's incomplete. Uh, because a few bad teachers, what about a good teacher? In other words, that's only about half done. Um, anyways, put that out, maybe asked a few people for a bit of feedback. Uh, and just 4 days ago, what was in the mail this morning? Um, a letter from the Cylons. Ah, either I'm under observation or there are synchronicities in play and things are dancing and maybe try to catch the steps. Uh, who it's from is okay, I told you I don't like actually to use the word Scientology, um, because they score very poor on science, um, and even lower on logos. There's a long Wikipedia page. Science and the logos is kind of in a union with the psyche, uh, kind of find a way to be whole together. That's kind of a striving. Um, so it's not entirely a bogus intent and maybe something short of utterly criminal. And actually, auditing is listening, as in auditorium, a place for listening. And actually being heard kind of matter. And I had a cluster of trauma to get over when I found them. I cleared up some of the previous trauma, but got some fresh stuff heading out the door. Uh, so, so I still call them the Cylons, and I can come up with some nastier names than that. Uh, Money and alienation, it's a part of a label. Um, well, Disin Band Foundation. Um, that's a senior position in the org, and the org is split into two shifts, the day shift and the foundation evening shift, weekends as well. And so that means not just two whole staffs, but two whole organization boards, including finances and statistics and performance um, criticisms. Um, and two different gross incomes. And so they're in competition with one another as well. Um, so that's the org. And years and years ago, uh, I was kind of pals with Anne. And she was kind of gorgeous. And she was in recruiting new members from the public. And her gorgeousness was a part of her job. Uh, dangle the bait to draw in fresh bodies in the shop. Um, Me not being so much of a looker, I was parked in back. Uh, I was the letter reg, and my name was on most of the outgoing literature as the letter correspondent contact for the organization. Um, anyway, Anne worked up front, and I worked in back in central file. Uh, I don't recall details of when I was expelled. Um, and when the no contact order was given to the community, I don't recall us speaking afterward. Um, except perhaps early 80s. Uh, I gave them a visit, uh, and they said, "Oh, the enemy declare has been torn up. You're in good standing again. Welcome." And I said, "Thank you for that, but this is just to let you know who's rejecting whom here. And it's not so much for you, but for me." And that was one of my amends to myself. You know, there are such things. Can you clean house with yourself? Something that we learn about. So, anyways, um, I don't recall speaking with Anne at that point. And I didn't make much more contact after that. Uh, I actually had handfuls of friends within that community, and very few kept back. Uh, and gee, okay. Uh, the the contact person indicates that apparently Anne remembers contacting me in 2010. We did have a conversation, And actually, I contacted her as to, you know, the Olympics were on, and the Rockalls, a couple of Cylon bigwigs, were doing a hard sell of the Cylon stuff to the Olympics crowd. So it was kind of being rubbed in my nose. So I gave her a call and said, "Hey, maybe we could get to bed together for a talk. I don't want to go in the org. How about the coffee shop a block away across the street?" And she said no, that she would want uh someone with her in case I was uncomfortably disagreeable, uh, among other things. I also suggested that perhaps this meeting might be recorded, and she weren't fond of that idea, I don't think. Um, this may be a bit of an error on my part in recalling the details of a 15-year-old conversation. Um, but the coffee shop we were to meet in was a block from the org, and uh anyways, even with an invitation to say hey and maybe talk some things over, um she declined. Um so apparently she's up for it now. And that might be nice, but maybe I think I would like that recording. And how about right here, you know, on a Zoom, record it. And geez, there's a kind of, because she's using an intermediary, there's kind of a cover your ass feel to it. Um, maybe she's testing if the Cylons have friends out there in the world, because they must get pretty sick of the bad press. Um, Also, Cylons of the older sort sometimes have health issues, and gee, some things to clear up before saying goodbye. Might be along those lines. Um, and I've said goodbyes along the way to part of life, ain't it? Um, Geez. So some of the errors in the first draft, oh, I already mentioned a few of them. Um, I understated the benefits, and listening and talking, communication matters, highly significant for a social creature. And an organization that pretends to teach communication, that prohibits communication, is nuts. And I got worse labels than Cylon. Huh. Um, but one of the other things I've learned is that they want all your time, all your attention, and they want to be boss. And so that means maybe placing a limit on how much time you give the Cylon. Maybe a conversation, a half hour, maybe a point to aim to. Uh, Getting to the other side of a problem. Stoic philosophy. Um, the obstacle is the way. If you want to pretend to be clear and honest. Howdy. Honesty, open-mindedness, willingness. Do you? Are you just shoveling air? Or are you doing anything with it? And also, do you as in, I'm a tad odd, but I think each person is unique and I want to. And no matter how much of a compulsion to conformity social creatures may have, that individual spark is there. And you kill it at your peril. Um, so that's an invitation to a conversation. And I don't know that I want to schedule it at the moment. Um, but I'm going to publish this little note, which is a whole lot shorter than that one. What was I thinking? 40, 50 minutes, over 2 hours. Rambling can, well, browsing, roving, exploring, hoping kind of thing can have a meandering path. Uh, Anyways, this is a short bit, and I'm gonna see if I can put it up on this new system and test to see if this new system is an actual improvement and a step forward in a communications course. All right, wrap for now. Be well.